कल्पतरु कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the morning discussion on the Madhurya Kadambini. Let us once again begin by reciting the Mangalacharan verses. Ridva Prenava Bhakti Shasya Vitate Sanjeevani Swagama Rambe Kamatapatarudahdamani Vishwapagullasini दूरान्मे रुषाकिनोऽपि सरसि भावाय भूयात् प्रभु श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्यकादम्बिनी श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्यकादम्बिनी श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्यकादम्बिनी भक्तिपूर्वे श्रुता तां तु रसं पश्येद्यदात्तधी तं नौमि सततं रूप नाम प्रिय जनम हरे. So yesterday we were discussing the Bhakti Utta Anarthas. After discussing the Aparadutta Anarthas, Vishwanath Chandra Thakur goes into a quite detailed analysis, especially the first, second, and the third, and the fourth. The remaining six, he says the same analysis can follow. But after going through that, we saw how the Bhakti Utta Anarthas also can act as a stumbling blocks. We saw that yesterday. Now, anarthas arising from bhakti. We saw that. So now the stages in nullification of the anarthas. Anartha nivritti, it is mentioned. Anartha nivritti. So what are the stages in nullification of the anarthas? So this is a very interesting thing also. Tesham chaturanam anarthanam nivritti api panchavida. Cessation of four kinds of anarthas is five types. Ekadeshavartini, Bahudeshavartini, Prayiki, Purna, Atyantiki, Cheti. Ekadesha till Atyantiki. Tatra gramo dagda pato bhagna iti nyayena aparaduttanam anarthanam nivritti bhajan kriya antaram ekadeshavartini. Nishtayam utpannayam bahula deshavartini. Ratav utpadyamanayam prayaki premni purna Sri Bhagavad Pad prapto atyantiki. According to the logic, the village burnt, the cloth is torn, the cessation of apraduttanarthas is ekadeshavartani after bhajan kriya. Bahudeshavartani at the stage of Nishta, Prayaki at the stage of Rati, Purna at the stage of Prema, and Atyantiki on attaining the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, very, very important. Vishwanath Chandra Thakur, how by the bhajan, by practicing and engaging in pure devotional service, and especially being careful of watering only the Bhakti Lata and not watering the Upashakas, when one practices bhakti, the cessation of the anarthas happens, and this happens in five different levels, And he mentions, he gives these terminologies: Ekadeshavartini, partial; Bahudeshavartini, pervasive; Prayaki, almost complete; Purna, complete; and Atyantiki, absolute. And then he gives the logic of the village burnt, the cloth is torn. So the logic is, when you set fire, the entire village is burned means Atyantiki, complete burning has happened. But, only some cloths are burnt, So that is like Ekadeshavartini. Okay, so let's go into this step by step. Hmm. तेषां चतुर्थानाम् अनर्थानां निवृत्त्यपि पंचविधा एकदेशवर्तिनी बहुदेशवर्तिनी प्रायकी पूर्ण आत्यंतिकी चेति. So this is the five things. According to the logic, the village burned, the cloth is stone, the cessation of apradutanatas is ekadashini after Brajan Kriya. Gramo dagda pato bhagna iti nyayena apraduta anarthanam nivrittim bhajan kriya antaram. Now, bhajan kriya antaram here means, it is you have crossed the 6 stages of bhajan kriya, which we had, quite elaborate discussion. There is the Utsamaya, Ghanatarla, Vyud Vikalpa, Vishay Sangra, uh, Niyamakshama, and Tarangarangini. Ekadarshini, Ekadeshavartini, Nishtayam. So it is Ekadeshavartini, sorry, Nishtayam, yeah, Ekadeshavartini. Nishtayam Utpannaya Bahula Deshvartini, yeah. So it is Bahudeshvartini at the stage of Nishta, and Prayaki at the stage of Rati, Purna at the stage of Prema, and Atyantiki at attaining the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, this is very important for us to know, and we'll go into this when we see the table. Thus, immediately after starting performance of devotional activities, Bhajan Kriya, there is nullification, but it is limited according to the famous logic. The town burnt, the cloth is torn. If you say the town is burnt, but only the cloth is torn, then what is the point? In other words, when we hear that the town burnt, we can imagine that some of it must be still existing. So when you say the town is burnt, but some things will be there, or if the cloth and the pieces are still existing. So when Purna happens, complete burning, but still there will be something remaining like that. By continued practice, the appearance of Nishra, the eradication is pervasive, affecting many anarthas. It's everywhere the fire is set. I'll give another example to make it more clear. With the appearance of Rati, the eradication is almost complete. With the appearance of Prema, the eradication is complete, Purna. With the attainment of the Lord's association, the eradication is absolute, with no possibility of their appearance. This is regarding appearance. And why it is mentioned that, when we attain the Lord, then only, there is the eradication is absolute and there is no possibility of appearance. There is a reason for it. Thus, if one thinks that the following occasional episodes demonstrate anarthas arising even after attaining the lotus of fluid, by one's indolence, he should throw out that thought from his mind. Okay, now here in this chart, at Bhajan Kriya, it is Ekadesha Vartani, slight, you know, and 15% of the anarthas are destroyed. At Nishta, it is Bahudesha Vartani, almost 75% are destroyed. So that is why attaining the stage of Nishta that means you're on the safe pedestal. Nishta is the stage, And then at the stage of Ruchi and Asakti, there is destruction, maybe 85, 90, like that. But at Bhava, it is Prayaki. Prayaki, 95%. And Prema, it is Purna, complete. And maybe the Atyantiki did not fit in the table, I think. That's why. Yeah. And when one is a Siddha, an eternal associate of the Lord, then it is Atyantiki, it is absolute, with no trace of it returning. So this is very important for us to understand. So I give another example of this Ekadesha Vartini, Bahudesha Vartini, just to make the point clear. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur uses one Nyaya, the village burnt. But you can take the example of especially the coconut tree. The coconut tree roots are very strong. You know that, right? Of course, I'm not such a good drawing person. And there are various branches, many branches of the coconut tree. Now, Ekadesha Vartini, what is this? Yeah, Ekadesha Vartini means, one branch falls. But Bahudesha means, Bahudesha means all branches are all eliminated here. All these branches are eliminated. Nothing is there. Maybe it is, oh, sorry, it should be partially there. This is only remaining now. Now, then, when you say prayaki na, nashta prayashu, prayaki means almost like this. And then Purna means actually what has happened in Purna is this is also gone, but this is the soil, but some traces can be there. It is not that, there is a chance of, even at prema, somebody might commit an offense, which generally doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Atyantiki. Atyantiki. ATY, it should be. ATY, correct. Yantiki, okay. Atyantiki, yeah. There is no trace, it is Purna, but still, there is a chance, even at Prema, somebody might commit an offense. And if he commits offense, then, it can go back. Anarthas can grow. Now, generally at the stage of Nishta, one is very careful not to commit offenses. And he very carefully treads a path till Prema. In Prema, there is no question of anyone committing offenses. He is very respectful to everyone. So this is how we need to understand. So let's see some important reflections on this. One may ask if there is any possibility of reappearance of aparad at the stage of rati or prema. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says. That's why I mentioned bhavapya abhavmayatiki Krishna preshta aparadata abhasatancha shanakir nyuna jatayate tamapi. If someone has attained rati, commits an offense to the dearest associates of Krishna, then rati gets destroyed if the offense is heavy. When the offense is medium, it turns into a glimpse of bhava bas. A slight offense turns rati gradually into rati of an inferior type. Sakya or Vatsalya rati turns into dasrati. Duvida monkey is an associate of Ramchandra, but he offended Lakshmana and consequently suffered terrible miseries. At the end of Dwakarupya, Baldev killed him. This verse explains the seriousness of Mahat Aprad. Sometimes there is a possibility of offending Mahats even at the stage of Rati or Prema. When a sadhaka who has attained Prema gets the full mercy of the Lord with the direct association and service, then only, mark this, then only cessation of Apradutta is Atyantiki. Then only. So we can see that when we commit offense to a very dear associate of the Lord, when it is heavy, then that offense, rati is destroyed. Rati can mean here bhava and prema also. Rati is destroyed. And when the offense is medium, when it is very heavy, it is destroyed. When it is medium, bhava turns into bhavabhas. Can you imagine? Bhava turns into bhavabhas. Just a reflection of bhava. It is not real bhava. And a slight offense, even a slight offense can turn rati into, suppose somebody is in Madhurya rasa, you know, in the conjugal mood, he's been practicing, he has attained bhava. But then it will turn into a lower one, sakya or vatsalya. And somebody is on sakya, then it will go, somebody is on sakya, then it will turn to dasya. Somebody is on vatsalya, it will turn to maybe sakya or dasya, like that. And that is why extreme example of how Duvida was a powerful army, Duvida and Menda, they were powerful generals in Lord Ram's army. And Duvida committed a offense towards Lakshman. He thought, when Lakshman was injured by Indrajit, he thought Lakshman is a mortal being, you know. So Marta Buddhi, Guru, so because of that, he fell in bad association and became such a big demon. And ultimately, he became very powerful. He became so powerful that he used to go in the ocean and lie down, and it is to create huge, tsunamis, and cities used to get destroyed. And ultimately, in he survived the entire Treta Yuga and other yugas, and then in Dwapar Yuga, during Balram's time, he appeared, and that's when Balram killed him. So offense, Balram is a Guru Tattva. So offense against Mahats are Gurus. So only Guru can destroy. So Balram destroyed it. So that's why this is what it's mentioned about the nullification, nivritti of aparats. So any questions on this? Any questions? Any clarifications? Okay, so now the next thing is about, whether the offense of Chitraketu and the four Kumaras, there is something called as the real and the apparent aprad. Actually, it was not a real aprad. It was only apparent. So, uh, so he goes into this discussion now. And then let's go into the line by line. यस्य तु तत्रापि चित्रकेतु कदाचिक्तो महद अपराध स प्रतीत एव न वास्तु वस वास्तव. The incident of Chitraketu committing an offense is only apparently an offense, not actually an offense. Please now what Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is trying to explain, we have to see from a different angle, and how Prabhupada explains in those purports in the Bhagavatam, we have to see from a different perspective. That is for a sadhaka, that to how he should be careful not to commit offenses. But here Vishwanath Chakravarti is giving a higher dimensional perspective that actually it was not at all an offense. So to explain that, now he is narrating this. Satyam premna sampatto pashatatva vrittatayor vaishishta abhava siddhantat. This is evident since there was no difference in the wealth of prema existing in him, either in his position as an associate of the Lord or after getting the body of the demon Vritrasura. So, to prove that it is only an apparent offense and not really an offense, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, now see the wealth of prema he had. Now, Chitraketu became a Gandharva. After King Chitraketu, he became a Gandharva, and in the Gandharvas, he was singing the glories of the Lord, and he had actually Sakshat Darshan of Sankarshan. So you have to see whether the offense is apparent or real based on the consequences. Falena, phala karma nam anumiyate. This is the Siddhanta. Falena phala karma nam anumiyate. By the falena means, the result. Phala karma, the action's result, anumiyate, one can guess. So you can see, he had Prema as a, Gandharva, as an eternal associate. And later on, he got a curse by Parvati and he got a body of demon. But he had that same wealth of Prema. There was no change in it. So from that, we can understand that it is, you know, it is not, it is apparent and it is not real. Now we'll go to we'll not go into the discussion of the pastime of Chitraketu. It is well known. It is comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, 6th canto, 14 chapters to 17 chapters. After a narration of Vritrasura episode, Parikshit Maharaj is eager to know how is it that this demon could offer such prayers of pure devotion. So his previous life is being mentioned. So we know that, and I'm not going to narrate the whole pastime. But I'm just going to narrate um, only the incident when Chitraketu, as a Gandharva, was passing by and he saw Lord Shiva in Kailash instructing sages, brahmacharis, and renowned sages. And Parvati was sitting on his thigh. And Chitraketu, seeing this, he remarked, he made a comment. Oh, just look at this. Mahadev is a teacher of religion for the world. He's giving the instruction on the absolute truth to the Munis with his consort Parvati on his lap. He's a great soul. But even mundane men have better sense than this and only show such affection for their wives in private. So this is, you should show your affection to your wife only in private, not in public. You know, see today's, culture, if you see, people don't have culture, they show affection even in the streets. So this is what Chitraketu made a comment. Now, Mahadev, being a very exalted personality, he smiled lightly, and he remained quiet. The Munis also did not say anything, seeing Mahadev's silence. But Parvati, unable to bear Chitraketu's apparent disregard for Mahadev, cursed him to be a demon. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in those purports mentions that Shiva and his disciples did not take it in offense at Chitraketu's words because they recognized his pure intention. And what was his pure intention? If Shiva, who is Ishwar, engages in this kind of activity, ignorant people might criticize him. And that will be disastrous for the ignorant people. Just like Daksha criticized Shiva and it was so disastrous. And that is why for the Loka Sangraha, for the general people, you know, it is beneficial, and that is why, he made this comment. So recognizing this pure intention of Chitraketu, Shiva did not get angry. Similarly, the other sages did not get angry because they saw there was no malicious intention, and that's why they remained silent. Whereas Parvati, she could not, you know, tolerate her husband's, insult. Uh, that's what, that's why that is also the feminine aspect, So Parvati cursed, you know. And after cursing, we can see the behavior of Chitraketu, you know. Chitraketu very happily accepted the curse. And then in the open assembly, you know, Shiva praised uh, Chitraketu. for his devotion and patience and his exalted quality. What is that? Narayan Parasarava Kutashta Bibeti Swarga Apavarga Apitulyata Darshan. I don't recollect the verse. So that verse, he spoke. And then the prema of Chitraketu comes in the Bhagavatam verses. I'm just going to read those verses. We can, because Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is mentioning that Chitraketu's prema, even in the body of Vritrasura, was there. It was the same. So from that we can Canto 6, chapter 11. So the last four verses, these are actually called as the Bhava Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. These are called as the Bhava Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, where the pure devotion of Chitraketu manifest. In fact, Vritrasura. Vritrasura, if you, in the other Puranas also, the story of Vritrasura comes, even in the Shrutis it comes. But actually, Vritrasura is depicted as a demon. And Indra is depicted as a hero who killed this demon, who was causing terror. But only in the Bhagavatam, the heart of Chitraketu is, heart of Vritrasura is revealed. That how he is a pure devotee. So that is why it is only by studying Srimad Bhagavatam we can understand pure devotion, not by studying other Puranas. Sometimes, it has become fashion now to refer to other Puranas to make more story, add more flavors to it. But no, we have to just stick to Bhagavatam, you know. Because Vyasdev himself is saying, Dharma projita kaitavo paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedam vastavam vastu shivadam tapatrayam moolam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Kimva Pareshwara. There is no need of, because only the vastavam vastu is revealed here. So let's go through these prayers. Aham Hare Tav Pade Kamula Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi Bhuya Manah Smareta Shupatir Gunamste Grinitava Karm Karoti Kaya. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants? Aham Harer Tava Padeka Mula, who has taken shelter, Dasanu Dasa Bhavatasmi. This is his constitutional position, you know, and then only at our lotus feet, which finds shelter, Padeka Mula, only at our lotus. O Lord of my life. So this is, out of pure love, Ashupate, the Lord of my life, O Lord of, may I again become their servant so that my mind always thinks of the transcendental attributes, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engages in the loving service of your Lordship. So how when we understand that, you are Lord of the life, because you glorify the Lord with body, mind, and words. That is the sannyas order of the life. So this is a beautiful, beautiful prayer. And then you can see his pure desire. न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ट्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धे अपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरह काङ्क्षते. I don't desire heavenly planet or Dhruvalok, na Nakaprishtam, nor Parameshtam, the planet of Brahma, nor Sarvabhaumam, the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets, or Rasadhipatyam, or the lower planets. I do not desire to become the power of mystics yoga, na yoga siddhir, that is by Ashtanga yoga, nor I want liberation, the Gyanis, if I have to give up your lotus feet, So, but here, Samanjasa Twa Virahe Kangshe, I have only feeling, the separation from you. So this is a deep feelings of separation, and he's not feeling separation from Swargloka, Satyaloka, or liberation or mystic yogas, So this is his prayer in this second verse. And then अजातपक्ष इव मातरं खगा स्तन्यं यथा वत्सरा शुद्धार्ता प्रियं प्रियेव विषुतं विषण्णा मनोरविन्दाक्ष दृदिक्षते त्वाम्. Now, the pure spiritual divine emotions of a Vritrasura are manifesting. And how he is hankering to see the Lord, just like the hankering of the Pakshi, the not yet grown wings, you know, it is hankering for the mother when the mother will come and feed through its beak. But when he speaks this, still there is self-interest, because it is not desiring the mother, but the mother who gets the food. And then he gives another example, Stanyam yata vatsara shudartha. Just like the calf, it is waiting for the mother, Aturta is there, that, Autkantata is there, the palpitation of the heart is there, of the Vatsa, because it wants the mother's love by which it drinks the breast of the cow. But that is also based on Shuddhartha, because of, it is hungry. So there is also certain still, selfishness. But the last example is fully satisfied. Priyam Priyeva Vishutam Vishanna. Just like the Priyam husband, the Priya, the wife, she's feeling separation because he's gone out and she's feeling morose. And her mind is hankering. And when the husband comes, she will neglect her children also to serve the husband. So similarly, let my mind, wants to see you. So you know, this is the divine emotion, what Vritrasura is exhibiting here. And then his ultimate aspiration, which all the pure devotees have prayed to the Lord whenever they had darshan. Mamuttama shloka janeshu sakyam samsara chakre brahmata swakarma bhi tvanmayayatmatmajadargaheshu asakta chittasya nanata bhuyat. O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Samsara chakra brahmata swakarma bhi. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. Mama uttama shlok janeshu sakyam. I want friendship with their devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy. Twan mayaya atma. This the maya atma here refers to your external energy. Atmaja refers to children, dhara, wife, and giheshu, home. It is continuing, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached to only you. Asakta chittasya he nata bhuyat. So let it be to you. So these four verses are actually also called as the essence of the Bhagavatam. The essence of the Bhagavatam. So this is regarding Chitraketu. Now the second one he's giving is apparent offense of the four Kumaras, which is mentioned in the third canto, 15th chapter, Jaya Vijay. Jaya Vijayastu Aprada Karanam Prema Vidrimbita Swacheva. In the case of Jay and Vijay, the cause of their so-called offense is the prema that blossomed in their heart. That is the so-called offense. Now, what is their prema in the heart? They pray to the Lord. Sacha. O Prabhu, Hey Prabhu, Vara, O Lord of Lords, Narayan, you desire to fight, but we cannot see anyone strong enough to fight with you. Though we are strong, we are not averse to you. Somehow make us inimical to you and relish the bliss of fighting. We are unable to bear that your spontaneous perfection may diminish even the slightest, decreasing your affection for your devotees. Please fulfill the desire of your servants. प्रतिकूलकृत्य तद् युद्धसुख्यम् अनुभूतायाम् इति अवयो स्वतः परिपूर्णतायाम् अनुमात्रम् अपि नूतनत्व असहमानो किंकरो प्रार्थना अतः स्वभक्तवात्सल्य गुणम अपि लघुकृत्य निष्पादयताम. So they saw that the Lord wants to relish various, fighting. And, if you remember in the last lot classes, the independence, the free will of the, you know, in the constitutional state, that free will acts according to the will of the Lord in pure desire to serve the Lord. So that is what we had discussed, if you remember. So though we are strong, we are averse to you. We are strong to give you that fight, but we love you. We are not averse to you. So somehow make us inimical, and then you can relish the bliss of fighting. You know, and you have this desire, and it should not diminish. So please, fulfill the desire of your servants. So the desire of the servants is here actually now the desire of the Lord, that they are cursed, but it will fulfill the Lord's desire. Itya akara kada chikta prasanga bhava manasa manaseva geha. If somehow, if somehow based on this incident, the same offensive desire appears in the mind of the sadhaka, then he should overcome the desire by his intelligence. By his intelligence, if this kind of a based on his offensive desire appears, then he should really work on that. That's what Vishnu Chakrathakur is saying. Okay, now any questions on this about the real and apparent offense of Chitraketu and Jay and Vijay? Now, of course, if you see Prabhupada purports and the whole narration, Prabhupada doesn't take it as an apparent offense. He takes it as in real, and his explanations are like that because that he's presenting from a different perspective how the sadhaka should be very careful also from that perspective. So we should understand the acharyas sometimes focus for learnings from different angles. So any questions you have? Anything? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Vinod Pranam. Prabhuji, I had a question that what is the result of such offense?
Which result of which kind of offense? Real or apparent or what?
Apparent.
Apparent, we saw that. We already read it also. You see, okay, there is a very important point I had missed. I will, good you brought this out. Uh, yeah, Chitraketu. Okay. Yeah. So it is only apparent, and how it is evident? This is evident since there is no difference of wealth of prema existing in him either in his position as an associate of the Lord or after getting the body of demon Vritrasura. How could Vritrasura offer such pairs of divine emotions of love? If there was offense, then he could not exhibit that prema. So the very important point which I had forgotten was how do we understand when there is some clash which happens among Vaishnavas? Who has committed the offense? Who has committed the offense? How do we know? So this is a very important question that one has to judge in his own heart and see whether his devotion has diminished, his taste for bhakti has come down, and he's facing some miseries immediately after these incidents happen. And if he's manifesting these symptoms, immediately he should understand it, whatever it is, by logic, by, no logic, whatever it is, we should not apply anything. We should ask forgiveness immediately and rectify it. I have met many devotees, you know, especially full-time devotees, who feel sometimes that the management, something has, done wrong to them, or there is a management issue, and, it's a management issue. It has nothing to do with Vaishnava Aparadh, but because of management issue, you out of envy, jealousy, or malice uh, uh, become critical about Vaishnavas, then that turns into a Vaishnava Aparadh. And the management is continuing, they are doing their duties, but the devotee suffers and his bhakti dwindles. So from there you can understand actually, who has committed the offense. So that is why we have to be very, very careful about this. We have to be very careful about it. Who has committed the offense, how to know. And the offensive reactions are little subtly different from the sinful reactions. I'll make that point also very clear here. And the offensive reactions obstruct our bhakti and we cannot practice our bhakti. Whereas the sinful reactions we are suffering because of our karma, prarabdha karma, and whatever it is, we are suffering and we are struggling with our. 1 second. There was some. Yeah. So the offensive reactions and the sinful reactions, that difference is very subtle. And one has to see, somebody is going through a health crisis, but someone is battling and is chanting his rounds and he's, humbly praying to the Lord. But when offensive reaction comes because of Vaishnav Aparadh, he is not able to chant his rounds. Even though he has got the time, but from the mouth, the holy name will not come. Many devotees, because I take this Vaishnava Aparadh, Vaishnava Ninda seminar, many of the devotees told me that, although they hours together sit with the beads sometimes, but they are not able to chant one round. This can happen. This can happen. And from that, we can understand it is not because of sinful reaction, it is offensive reaction. The mercy, Bhakti Devi mercy is withdrawn. And that's why, you know, Bhakti is the spiritual Shakti of the Lord. When the Shakti is not there, you cannot do anything about it. You know. So it's a mercy. By the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we can mukha, we can take the name. And we saw in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, how these Mayavadi sannyasis, Prakashanand Saraswati, he criticized Mahaprabhu for being sentimental. And this Maharashtra Brahman who met, ah, you know, Krishna Chaitanya was the name, but he was not able to take Krishna name. He was telling Chaitanya, Chaitanya. And he was wondering why he's not able to take the name of Krishna because he doesn't have that Sukriti to take that name. So that is the point. I hope it is clear, you know.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. Harsha Radha Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, Jaya and Vijay were eternal associates of the Lord Vishnu. So
Yes.
did everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Like they took birth as Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha.
Yes.
So did they suffer the reactions for the?
No, not at all. At all. They
Okay.
had to act as demons. So they took and there are deeper understandings also. Vishnu Chakatakur in the puppet, they are eternal associates. How can they fall down? There is no question of fall down from Vaikunta. So actually, Jay and Vijay they are there, but their amshas came here. Their expansions came here. You know,
Okay.
so that is one. And the although they had bodies here and they fought, but that was all for the pleasure of the Lord. And we cannot imagine what type of powers they had because they are associates. And what kind of a fight must have happened between Varadev. At least I feel I could get just some glimpse of that when we all watched the Maha Narsimha Avatar movie. Varadev's fight. In fact, I had a deep desire in the heart to, when I read in the Bhagavatam verses, the dive, what jump Varadev took from appearing from Brahma's nostril into the Garbhodak Sagar. and the water splashing, what kind how huge and gigantic must be the body of Varadev, you know, and people do that buggy jumping, high jumping, or in the swimming pool they go higher the height, then the water splashes. So what must be the jump which Varadev had taken, and how the water must have splashed. So even in that video, in that movie, some glimpse we get, but the actual one, what it must have been. So the rasa, Veer rasa, how much the Lord must have relished. So in order to give pleasure to the Lord, they had come and performed this pastime, and also to give eternal lessons to the conditioned souls about the divine and the demonic personalities, especially the demonic personality, the mentalities. Okay. So, Bir Krish Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Oh,
Yes.
just clarification. So, Prabhu, this Jaya Vijay pastime we should understand from Leela point of view.
Yes, we have to understand from the Leela point of view only.
Yes, yes. And Prabhu, how did this Jaya Vijay understood the Lord's desire that Lord wants to provide?
That that is their purity by when they are in the eternal world. Everyone acts as per the will of the Lord. They can understand the will of the Lord because the Yogamaya potency, you know, is acting there. Why to speak? What to speak about that? Even somebody who has a siddhi can understand what is the desire going on in your mind.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
but that is working under completely the chitta potency, the spiritual potency in the spiritual world. So everyone acts according to the desire.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Sunita Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one more question I had.
Hmm.
What about the offenses which are committed in the mind? For example, they are not said or we don't hurt, but in the mind it is there. In such
Yes.
case,
Yeah. Offenses are considered, pap is not considered in the mind. If in the mind, you think of committing some sinful activity, you know, in the previous ages, the sinful reaction you had to suffer and you'd be obligated to commit that activity. But in Kali Yuga, that is, all chhoot de diya hai. But offensive, mentality also will have an offensive reaction. Even the thought, that we have to be very clear about it. Yes, this all also we clarify in our Vaishnavinda seminar. Okay, so we'll take one more last theme. It's a short theme and we'll complete the discussion. Yeah. Eradication of anarthas arising from sins and uh, from the practice of bhakti. From Sukrututta, Dushkrututta and Bhakti-yuta. तथा दुष्कृतानां भजनां क्रियान्तरम् एव प्रायिकी निष्ठायन्तां जातां पूर्ण आसक्ति आत्यन्तिकी तथा भक्तियुक्तानां भजन क्रियान्तरम् एकदेशवर्तिनी निष्ठायां पूर्ण रुचि रुचा वा आत्यन्तिकी इति अनुभाविना बहु दृश्वना सम्यक विविच्यमान अनुमंतव्यम. Cessation of dushkrita anarthas is almost complete after bhajan kriya. Dushkrita anarthas arising from sin, is almost complete after bhajan kriya. Almost means prayaki. Prayaki. I think in my chart it is not correctly depicted. Let me see. Is complete at Nishtha, Purna at Nishtha, and absolute in Asakti. But regarding cessation of Bhakti Utanarthas is partial. You can imagine. It is partial at Bhajan Kriya, whereas it is almost complete. It is complete at the stage of Nishtha, Purna, and absolute Atyantiki at the stage of Ruchi, or at the stage of Ruchi. Realized Mahajans have ascended this principle by thoroughly deliberating all facts. Okay, this is the same thing. I'll not Anubhavini. So, okay, let me see whether I have done the chart correctly. So, at the end of Bhajan Kriya, it is Prayaki, Nishtha, it is Purna, Asakti, it is Atyantiki. And what does, a session is partial at Bhajan Kriya, complete at Nishta. Complete, Prayaki, Nishta. No, Purna. It should be Purna here. Sorry. Yeah. And absolute at Ruchi. Atyantiki at Ruchi. At Ruchi it is. Okay. There is some change here. So anyway, I'll do the changes a little later and send it to you. So that is what, the cessation of anarthas, uh, is being mentioned here. Now, uh, like now these anarthas because of papa and punya, what happens actually because of these anarthas of papa and punya? Our absorption is either in sense enjoyment because of punya, or the sinful propensities are troubling us, attachment, you know, and these are prayaki destroyed at bhajan kriya. And at nishta it is purna, and at asakti it is atyantiki. Now this is regarding papa and it holds for punya also, they're both same. Now regarding bhakti utta, anarthas arising from bhakti, which we discussed quite in detail, which look very similar to the bhakti lata, desires for puja, labha, pratishtha, they are slightly overcome in bhajan kriya. They are slightly, for they arise from bhajan kriya only, so that's why they are slightly overcome. But when he reaches nishta, they are almost, they are prayaki. That's almost, and they are fully destroyed at ruchi. Purna, yeah, correct. Purna is here. Authentic is. So when one attains ruchi, then he doesn't have ruchi in all these things, puja, la, pratishtha and all. So the point is that as one takes up to devotional service, that means bhajan, and attains steadiness, gradually all the anarthas will be destroyed. But when one takes to bhajan kriya and these bhakti ut anarthas start manifesting, actually what happens is our bhajan slackens and the anarthas become stronger. That is the time you'll have to retreat within, not retreat out. But what happens generally, because we are bhaya, we are external, not internal, we get carried away and go on, go on, go on like that. But what is happening is that the bhajan has slackened and the anarthas have started increasing. And if you allow this, then the anarthas will swallow you. They will swallow your bhajan. So that is why one should go deeper and deeper into bhajan. No? So without engagement of bhajan, we cannot wipe out the anarthas. And that's why the sadhaka should be very, very careful in the name of preaching, engaging in a lot of preaching programs, and a lot of following is coming. Then what happens, he gets carried away and he goes more and more, doing this, but he starts slowly, slowly, gradually neglecting his bhajan. So the anarthas keep on increasing, the bhajan slackens, then it will have its effect. So that's why one should be very careful. And we have vague, vague concepts. When you take Diksha, the spiritual master will purify your heart. No, the spiritual master will give you the empowered holy name by which you have to chant attentively the holy name, and your bhajan, by your own bhajan, you can purify the heart. It's not that the spiritual master will purify the heart. It's the holy name which will purify the heart. This kind of attitude, is seen, and many devotees ask me this question, so that's why. So only by nija sadhana bal, by one's own sadhanas, endeavors, and then sadhu kripa bal, we take the association of sadhus and beg for their mercy. Then these anarthas can be destroyed. So that is the point. Okay, so any other questions you have up till now? Any questions? Any clarifications? Yes, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, then after hearing all this,
Mm.
I feel that constantly we have to be in the remembrance of the Lord, and
Mm.
every action committed should be scrutinized before brought into action. Like we
Yes.
have to be that careful in our living.
Yeah, basically, one has to be sincere. That's it. One has to be sincere in his, hearing, in his devotional activities, in his chanting, you know, uh, and in his dealings with Vaishnavas. He has to be very, very simple and very straightforward. And, it's a simplicity of the heart is required. And, this crookedness, putinati, all these anarthas are there in the heart. Actually, what happens is, you know, when we come in devotional service now, we are very simple. But that simplicity doesn't stay for long, because after practicing bhakti, the inside all these anarthas start come out, and then the troubles really start. So
The weeds come up.
that purification should happen.
The weeds come up. I've understood
Weeds,
that
yeah, the
much.
weeds, the anarthas come out.
And we take it as bhakti.
Yes, yes. And
It's
we
very difficult, Prabhuji. Yeah,
we saw the
because
bhakti anarthas. We read quite in detail how, when because of name and fame, we start giving classes, and then, we start telling lies, and just to become famous, we do this, that, act, and, bhakti is not there, but still externally we are, we exhibit that as though I'm a nice bhakta and I'm chanting,
mm,
all these external things we start doing and not go internal. So one has to be, if one is sincere and honest, and with a sincere heart approaches the Lord, prays to the Lord, um, then the Lord will arrange, that kind of association for him. And then, you know, uh, that's how it is. Ye yata mam prapadyanti, tam sataiva
and
bhajamyam. Okay.
yes, and Prabhuji, what is the role of ignorance? Like you're sincere, but you're ignorant.
That is not a problem. That is not a problem. You know, that by hearing the scriptures, the senior devotees will be compassionate, and that will be destroyed. But if you are duplicitous, it is very difficult.
Difficult.
It's difficult.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Any other questions anyone else has? Okay, so we stop here. Shri Madhurya Kadambini ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.